grab. What happens when you drink too much coffee and you don't get enough sleep? You get a headache and you feel like shit. um, so my Fujifilm GFX will be here in less than 48 hours. Hooray! And my 120 millimeter GFX lens will be here tomorrow. So I'll have two lenses for the GFX at this point. Future-proof cameras. Without being subjective, you can actually be objective in making a determination about this. And I don't think anybody else has made a video about this. They might have, not that I know of. Future-proof camera. What would be a future-proof camera? And what would actually qualify as a future-proof camera? Well, there'd be three criteria that it must necessarily fall under. Either one of these or more than one of these: durability, specification, or image rendering. Let's take the Nikon D700 for example. The output of the D700, a lot of people, I mean, of course you can make anything look like anything in Lightroom. I mean, not really, but realistically you can. The output of the D700, everybody that bought that camera said, you know, I didn't believe you about how incredible this camera is for portraiture, even though it's an old 2008 12 megapixel camera. It's basically like a light version of a Nikon D3, but everybody said the same thing. Hundreds of people, like, oh my god, the portrait, just the straight out of camera images are unbelievable. And they are. I wish actually Nikon would bring something else out like that again. Obviously not in 12 megapixels, but with the same sort of SOOC, straight out of camera. Durability, of course, is off the scale. Nice magnesium chassis, Japanese-made camera. Specifications. Durability. Well, we have rendering in the Nikon D700 and durability. Specifications are getting a little bit on the stale side at 12 megapixels, but a 20 by 30 print back in 2008 is still a 20 by 30 print here in 2017. I'm pretty damn sure that inches have not changed, except when men exaggerate about, you know. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So, what are some other... Yeah, this video is actually serious. Future-proof cameras. A Nikon D700, Nikon D3, D3S, D3X, D4, D4S, definitely the Fuji X-T1, and most certainly the X-T2, and definitely, I know for a fact, I've had my hands on it, only a couple times, but certainly so the GFX. The GFX not only made in Japan, but, you know, what is going to happen in the near future? I mean, we're going to have 8K displays, right? Here's an example. It's like, well, how could you say that the Fujifilm GFX is future-proof? Well, you know, barring me, you know, wrecking the camera, you know, it's a precision piece of Japanese-made machinery. Let's just say, like in that 5 years, 6 years from now, that everybody has a 8K display, all right? I mean, the notion of like regular 1080p displays will be like nonsense. So everybody's going to have an 8K display. Certainly so like the next 6 or 7 years, right? Well, I mean, it is already the case that, I don't know if you know this or not, but I've had a lot of raw files and straight out of cameras from the GFX head my way. And, you know, you can blow up the images on portraiture and you can make the most beautiful woman look like a dog. Woof! Counter subcutaneous imperfections and, you know, even like fingerprint her blood vessels underneath the first layer of skin on her nose. I mean, like, damn. So, even 8 years from now, it is undeniable, and this is objective and logical, not subjective, that the Fujifilm GFX is going to be a future-proof camera. Also, too, what is really the time frame on a future-proof camera? Say 10 plus years. It's like, well, that's not future-proof. I mean, well, for technology, 10 plus years really does quantify and qualify as the denotation of future-proof. It's kind of like an old can opener is future-proof. We're talking about, you know, now all can openers are pop-top, like a Pepsi can now, right? We don't even need those anymore. But 10 plus years on technology, I mean, that's... And still more than that. I mean, you say 15 plus years. Certainly with all the circuitry we have in digital cameras, I mean, it's not like a film camera. We can dust off the old Pentax K1000 that's sitting in the basement and continue shooting film. I mean, yeah, it'll still work, but the medium is dead. You know, barring holographic cameras, which are certainly at least 20 years down the road, you know, digital is going to be digital. And the XT2, totally future-proof. Japanese. You know, one thing that actually makes all these cameras the same is they're tough magnesium chassis cameras made in Japan. Now you're going to say, well, what about the Nikon D800, D810, Nikon D500? No. 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 Circuitry is circuitry, but I mean, is that camera going to last 10 plus years? It's doable, but I don't actually see it as likely. I just don't. It's not made in Japan. It's a partial magnesium chassis. I mean, it easily could, but I mean, it certainly could last 10 plus years, but I actually don't see that being the case. Should be getting all your money's worth out of it within the next 6 plus years. I mean, it probably will last 10 years if you take really good care of it. I really don't see that being the case. So the D600 series, D800 series, D500 series, those cameras don't qualify. Realistically, not my opinion, not being subjective, being objective, those don't qualify as future-proof cameras. You know, says the guy that has 3 of the Nikon D500s, you know, it's just not. So, D700, D3, D4, D4S, even the Nikon D5, I actually can't say, even if you forget about the crummy specifications on the Nikon D5, and forget about the fact that it's obscenely overpriced, let's just say you got it for free. It's like, is the camera future-proof? I actually can't say that the Nikon D5 is future-proof. It is not made to the tough-ass, take a foot to the nuts sort of camera that the D3 and D4 series are. I can't objectively say that the Nikon D5 does qualify under durability specifications and image rendering. Doesn't qualify. Like even another 8-9 years down the road, I mean the D700 is going to still be a desirable camera as long as the damn thing's still working. Obviously it's going to probably be a lot cheaper than it is now. Right now it's not all that damn cheap. I mean the camera's been out there for a long time. The reason why its value is so high, it gets bid on like crazy, is because the camera is built like a brick outhouse made in Japan, magnesium chassis, and the output is the tits. So, oddly enough, I have all these cameras. You notice I don't get rid of these future-proof cameras. I did get rid of one of my Nikon D700s, but I still have the other one, so don't need more than one. Really, so I don't even need that one. I've got way too many cameras. So, there we go. There is the objective. Mosquito's been biting me, but scratching my legs. Outside. My sexy, sweet legs, right? Mosquitoes love to bite them. Someone's laughing right now. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like shit because I had too much coffee and not enough sleep last night. If you like this video and drop me a buck or two, tell me to jump off a cliff. Whatever makes you happy. I am happier than a pervert in a porn shop, however, that the GFX will be here less than 48 hours. Yeah! Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. La, 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 la.